Joining me today on NYSE Floor Talk is Lauren Salz. She is the co-founder and CEO at Sealed. Lauren, fantastic to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Pleasure. So now, Lauren, I want to start off by talking about the company. Tell me a little bit about the early days of Sealed and your approach to making America's housing clean and efficient.
So from the very start of the company, we've been completely obsessed with decarbonizing America's housing stock. Homes in the US make up around 20% of greenhouse gas emissions, which is equivalent to the entire country of Germany. And one of the remarkable things about that statistic is that all the technology already exists to completely get American homes off of fossil fuels. It's really just a consumer adoption problem. And one of our biggest learnings in the early days is that most homeowners are not motivated by climate reasons to make these types of home improvements. They're more motivated by the fact that they live in drafty, uncomfortable homes. Maybe they can't use their living room 6 months out of the year, or one kid is too hot at night, or another kid is too cold. That's a very common problem. So what we did is we worked one-on-one with homeowners across the US, designing and managing the installation of thousands of homes, and we also directly financed the improvements as well.
So now the Inflation Reduction Act is the biggest and most ambitious climate law ever issued by a national government. When IRA was first announced, how did it impact your business?
It was such a huge deal for us. And when we started the company, we could not have imagined legislation like this would get passed. And we knew what a big impact it could have on the market, because looking at the homes that we were working with to get heat pumps, we noticed that if there's a big rebate available, a homeowner is much more likely to choose a heat pump. And we recognized right away that there was a big opportunity for us to help contractors access these rebates in a really frictionless manner, and that we were uniquely positioned to help them do so for a few reasons. First reason is that we have over 10 years of data on how homeowners use and save energy based on home improvements. And a really key part of many rebate programs is your ability to predict and measure energy savings, and we're experts at that. Second thing is we already have a national contractor network, and we're used to working with contractors very closely through the installations we did for our homeowners. And the third reason is that we knew firsthand working with rebate programs is really complex and complicated. To give you an idea of this is sometimes in the earlier days of Sealed, we would have hundreds of thousands of dollars of rebates that were outstanding, and we wouldn't know when we would get paid for them. So we would celebrate when a $50,000 check would come in the mail at an unknown time because we had finally gotten paid. And one of the goals of the IRA is for more contractors to build their businesses around installing heat pumps instead of fossil fuel burning equipment. And it's hard to run a business if you don't know when you're going to get the money. So that's how the idea for SealedPro was born. And we discussed with our board, and we decided to invest a lot of time, energy, and resources in incubating the idea.
So you recently announced SealedPro, a product that will make it easier for contractors and homeowners to take advantage of rebates, like you just explained. So tell me more about the product and the shift to working with contractors directly opposed to working with consumers.
We love working with contractors. It's something we've done throughout our history, and now we get to work even more closely with them. SealedPro is an easy button for contractors to access rebates. So we make everything really easy. We figure out what rebates a homeowner is eligible for. We calculate the size of the rebates based on the energy savings. And then we deal with any complexity with the programs, including actually submitting the paperwork on the contractor's behalf. And that's through our software platform. And then the best part of our product for many contractors is that we pay really fast. We pay within 10 business days instead of not knowing in several months when the rebate is actually going to come in. And our big goal with launching SealedPro is to increase the amount of contractors that are using rebate programs, and we've been really successful at that. In the first program we were operating in Southern California, around 80% of our contractors were not using the program before we came along.
All right, and finally, Lauren, tell me what's next for Sealed?
There's a couple of things we're really excited about. First of all, more near term, we're excited about expanding with our existing customers across the US using the $2.5 billion in rebates that are already available. And then we're watching very closely as the IRA dollars roll out in the second half of this year. And the second thing that's a little bit more long-term is we think that the grid is going to continue to get more and more strained by soaring electric usage. And one of the solutions for that is virtual power plants. And we made an acquisition last year that helps accelerate our efforts there.
All right, well, Lauren, it's been fantastic to talk with you. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk today.
Thank you so much for having me.